Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Rogue Trader is finally out, and that means we can go ahead and start our Let's Play series. Let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to be doing this on Core, or I guess it's called Daring now. As much as possible, I'm going to try to keep space combat on Daring, but I'm not going to mess around with it. If I end up having to do the same fight 3 or 4 times, I'm just going to pull that down. But the general difficulty of the game, I'm definitely going to keep that as Daring. So if I end up running into a fight that I can't get past, well, that just means I have to redo my builds until it's actually going to work. We are going to play this game as this character. I don't think this portrait was available during the alpha or the beta. I think you couldn't get this until the review version of the game, but I think it's just absolutely fantastic. I think this is just bar none one of the best portraits Owlcat has ever done. Absolutely the best portrait of a black man they've ever done, and I just love everything about it. Obviously, it's perfect for the noble run that I've said I wanted to do multiple times. He's supposed to be a leader, a buffer, and this portrait just absolutely speaks to me. So glad they have something like this in the game. And even better, this game is a really cool feature where whatever portrait you select, your avatar will automatically change to match that portrait. So we don't have to actually do any character customization. Of course, I have videos on the character customization system if you want to see that, but we're not going to go through that here. We're going to choose Imperial World and go ahead and get that +10 of fellowship. That's going to help us be an officer even more. And then of course we're going to be noble. Really love the whole concept of noble. Really looking forward to going through a whole game this way. As I mentioned before, I've only went up to Act 3 of this game, so I have not seen what the ending is like. And even in Acts 1 through 3, they've added some new things, some new features, added some new items that I haven't had access to before. So really excited about doing this. Of course, the main aspect of this is it's going to allow us to designate one party member as a servant, which is going to give them some specific buffs, and it's also going to give us some abilities to pick up talents later on. As far as the triumph, I'm pretty sure, which one do I want to do? Oh, this is the one I want. Your strong presence and persuasiveness stop the feudal war between neighboring systems. That's what I want. He's a very persuasive individual. I like that about him. And then I like brand of shame, an illegitimate man. Yeah, you are a bastard, an illegitimate member of a family that immediately turned its back on you. I feel like it just adds to, this is a guy who's really had to roll up his sleeves and get it out the mud. Deeply loyal to the Imperium, truly believes the Imperium is here to serve all of humanity, and that it's the best thing for the galaxy, despite the effect it has on humans who turn away from the Imperium and obviously other aliens. Now, we're going to start off as officer, and then eventually we'll get up to master tactician. Obviously, since we're officer, we're going to add a 10 to fellowship. We're also going to add a 10 to ballistic skill. Long term, we're going to be a very effective sniper. And then I'm going to add 10 to willpower. And there will be an overall build coming out for this character at 9 a.m. Central Time. I believe this video should come out 7 a.m. Central Time, and so I'm going to kind of stagger the 3 videos I'm releasing on launch day by a couple of hours each. And then, of course, what else could we name our ship? Vos Normandy. I'll probably name it for all the characters that I do a run with in this game. And yeah, we should be good, right? I believe so. Fellowship, officer, noble. Skills 1, high persuasion, excellent. Low Imperium for now, but it'll get better with time. That won't be a problem. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize that. So since I have the brand of shame, it's going to lower my lower Imperium by 5. That's interesting. Why does being a bastard lower my knowledge of the Imperium? Doesn't matter in the end. We're going to raise lower Imperium sky high another way. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, of course. So again, this is a guy who's really loyal to the Imperium and sees becoming the rogue trader, or at least at this time, aligning himself with Theodora von Valancius as an opportunity to bring more of the Imperium's teachings to the Coronis Expanse. Now, that being said, he's not going to start out as a guy who's running around murdering everybody and trying to just rip apart everyone he sees, right? Like, he's going to come from the standpoint of, hey, the Imperium's never been here before. Humans who are here, they don't really understand how fantastic the Imperium is and why it's so important that we follow its doctrines, right? So he's going to kind of come from the standpoint of, I need to be a teacher. I need to be a unifier and someone who makes people understand. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to be violent or vicious. Actually, the opposite. He's absolutely going to tear people apart, but he's going to be very methodical and precise with what he does.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Truly an awe-inspiring sight.
That is the purpose of all temples to the God Emperor. To inspire awe and reverence. For it is the duty of his servants to persevere in their tireless service until they are presented with the chance to give their very life for the master of humanity.
He sighs and turns to you.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtvir, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Voigtvir bows his head and focuses attention on you. Duke Lord Highlander, Eos Vinria de Val af Calixis. You may call me your grace.
My deepest respects to you, your grace. A noble of the Imperium. It's been a long time since Providence last brought such eminent guests aboard this vessel.
Voigtvir smiles faintly, but you are not sure it is directed at you.
I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
Lord Captain, a strange title for the Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis, at the time when the first rogue traders entered the God Emperor's service. And therefore, it is sacrosanct.
Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here?
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor. Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium. But from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain. I advise you to come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible.
You have a curious title. Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencias. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
Tell me about the one whose ship I have found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back. Especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say, that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred Warrant of Trade, and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
You say I am one of the rogue trader's heirs, so there's another candidate?
There is. And you will meet him soon enough.
I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord's Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Awesome. So yeah, like I was saying, he's not necessarily going to run around just looking to dismember people. He's going to be very, very methodical about trying to make sure he has a positive impact for the Imperium here in this place. The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. That's really what's most important to him, that when he's able to look back upon his time here, he can honestly say that he did good work that expanded the power of the Imperium and not necessarily just went around murdering all of its enemies. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and worlds among the numbers and logisticar symbols. A candlelit altar with a copy of the 2348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium. So I really like the way Alcat handled this beginning conversation. It gives you some lore, it does some world building, and helps you understand why you're here. But I don't feel like it was so much that people who are unfamiliar with Warhammer will feel completely overwhelmed. And I've definitely had that before.
One of the von Valencius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
All right, so this is the only thing I'm not sure about with this playthrough. Of course, I'm going to be a person who's a buffer, be an officer, master, tactician. It's going to be a while before. Ooh, 2 and 1. That's unfortunate. It's going to be a while before I do really nice damage. So it'll be interesting to see if that has a negative impact on me from the standpoint of, I know there are some instances where you're basically alone. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm able to run through this game with no problem. This is not a good start. He is absolutely annihilating everybody around me. I already did you, can't do you, and there's nobody else to help. So, okay, fine. All I could just do is attack. I don't have any other options. At least he's got an 85% chance to attack, though. Look at you doing a little bit of damage. I appreciate that. Go down swinging. Thank you so much. I mean, this dude is just gonna... Come on, man. That's fine. Oh, I can actually take him out there? Almost. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. Can I shoot him from this range? I might take a... Oh, that works too. Excellent. Okay, so if the guy gets in melee range, he'll finally take a shot. What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and the heirs are gathered here. Without taking his eyes off the bodies on the floor, Voigtvir removes the Voxcaster from his belt and speaks a few quick orders into the device. Then he turns to you. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan. Oh, now you guys want to show up. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises. Stations! At your service, Master Voigtvir. The lines on Voigtvir's forehead soften, and his voice regains its usual courtesy. I'm afraid I must remain here, Lord Highlander. For the Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor. The Master of Whispers gives you a curt bow. Don't move me without my permission. Only I move myself. There we go. Yeah, so like I was saying, really like that intro. I feel like a violet alloy, which upon closer examination turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with a primitive tool are visible on the surface. A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, barely perceptible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles. The stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hue, as if someone has captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral, the porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater. A gray-green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. Yeah, enough where some really nice world building was done, but not so much that I felt overwhelmed or like, man, only someone who's already played Warhammer or knows about Warhammer would understand this. This exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House von Valancius's valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. Lemon Rust battle tank, reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Vortez-Chitan. The wires of the servitor's head are still smoldering. It would seem the cause of this malfunction was a short-circuiting of the motive force. Tarantula sentry gun, constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Kiava Gamma. All right, so I like looking at all the magnifying glasses. I won't necessarily read out all the books, but sometimes the stuff under the magnifying glasses is really pertinent for what you're doing. So I like making sure that I know what's going on with all of them. The Grand Void Ship Temple occupies the entire space below the officer's deck and is lit by countless candles and lumens. One of the things I really appreciate about this game and what Owlcat has done is the way they find clever ways to convey space or reach, and how many people are actually under the leadership of the rogue trader. So like something like this, it's not weighing the game down, it's not going to cause a bunch of slowdown, but looking over here really does make me feel like I'm on this massive ship that has a crazy amount of people on it. Really cool the way they accomplished that. It was one of the areas of feedback that was brought up when the lifts carrying people around the decks move with a loud grinding noise. And again, see that the scope of this ship, another simple way to make it seem like you're in this vast, crazy place. It was an area of feedback that was brought up during one of the surveys in development, that some people really wanted them to capture the concept of, hey, this is the Coronis Expanse. In a lot of areas, it's very overpopulated. You know, people are not living well, and so, you know, Owlcat had to figure out how do we How do we convey that to you without putting you in a situation where there's a bunch of slowdown because of all the characters that are on screen? And I think they found a really, really nice way to get around that. That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora, says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered by sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. The tall, gray-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation no worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Aeon 6, Edelthrad? Survey the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valance's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible, head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth, bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. Our second candidate has joined us. The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader's looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive. Lord Highlander, approach and give me your answer. Consider this hypothetical situation. Aeon 6, a new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underground spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure? Lore Warp, there are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Aeon 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost several cycles to do so, but it will give us the answer. And yep, that's my best option. Theodora smirks. Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who could serve me well for many years. Yet you speak of several. Edelthrad looks at you with the warmth of a snake. Sanctioned psykers are rare and invaluable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you, Lord Highlander, suggest that we use heretics who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants. We are both servants of the God Emperor and Lady Theodora. Does it become any one of our status to engage in petty feuds? Edelthrad looks at you with suspicion. Even among his flock, not all are of a piece, Lord Highlander. I suggest you familiarize yourself with that fact before you are sorely... Edelthrad. Theodora's tone renders him silent. I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me, then, why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time. Edelthrad bows ceremoniously and takes his leave, without sparing you another look. Theodora's gaze follows him as he leaves. Then she turns to you. So, Lord Highlander, why are you here? There are questions that I wish to have answered. You are direct. I approve, but you will have to wait. There is something I want you to understand first. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo Offscaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity, and my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic, the Warrant of Trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you, Lord Highlander, are one of those with the von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. One of? Does this mean there are other heirs? Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful, if not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Theodora sighs and looks away pensively for a brief moment. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Conrad Voigtvir served me for many years before he made his mistake. Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you. His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voigtvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory, or it used to be, at least. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now? The Vox affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life, but all you can hear is unintelligible noise. Theodora winces, shut off the transmission, and gives you an imperious nod. I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the voyage's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. Navigator, translation, what are these things that you speak of? Theodora shakes her head. Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars. Vessels, such as this one, are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Geller field, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that will require hundreds of years and a matter of weeks instead, sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars. An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew. Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Geller field. Or perhaps our possessed ship was in the mood for a lark. Theodora laughs nonchalantly. The gray-haired officer gives the rogue trader a look of cautious disapproval. Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff. Enough, Abelard. Such heresy amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. She turns to you. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live. Where's your ship headed? The Reconnect system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Only 3 rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Reconnect on the Theodora grimaces. She gives you a stern look, then shrugs, for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not yet the time. What are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. So we're going to ignore this option because Lord Highlander, he's used to talking to people in power. And he kind of already has a sense of who she is. He knows she's not going to be interested in any sort of groveling. And that's also to some degree why he skipped over the option about taking on this sacred responsibility. Like, of course he wants the position, but he's done nothing to prove that he should have the position. So stating that outright does nothing. So he's used to talking to people like this. He already knows pitfalls that should be avoided. I have no more questions. In that case, I shall Theodora's vox awakens once more. This time you pick up shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the vox cast, then nods and draws her weapon. Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. She glances at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. Uh-oh. Woo! They make quick work of the guards. So, really enjoyed that. So we've been ambushed once again, so we can't move around anywhere. Really enjoyed that first meeting with Theodora. I felt like the dialogue and how those other characters are handled, I felt like it was really good. Only thing that I find, man, one of these, it's not going to be this time, but one day I'm going to do a playthrough where there's at least one person who specializes in fire weapons. They look so awesome every time I see them. Only thing I don't like about that conversation, to me, it's super weird that a character as important as Theodora doesn't have a voice. Oh, I can't put voice of command on him, huh? That's so weird that I can make him my servant, but can't use voice of command. But anyway, he's going to take care of all of them, so I'll focus on you. Let's see if I can take you out. There we go. Yeah, it just seems to me that considering her importance in the overall game, she should have had a voice. But other than that, I think that whole dialogue was fantastic. And just overall, if you can't already tell by now, I think this game has a really, really nice opener. You know, I'm not gonna put it out in the video yet because, of course, it's easy to say this when something's new. But I think I like this opening better than I like the opening for Wrath of the Righteous. I think it does a better job of really pulling you in, even though Deskari flying down into that city was absolutely a fantastic way to kick off the game. I think I like this even better. Oh, I guess he's not going to deal with these people. Alrighty then. And I only have a 30% chance to hit you. And I'm not going to, so it is what it is. Is what it is.
My ears are ringing.
But yeah, super cool. Get you into the flow of combat, but not in a super difficult way that's hard to overcome. Just, woo! Mort handles business. Absolutely handles business. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's all well done. Theodora waves her hand in a commanding gesture. Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single Horse Son survive. The rogue trader turns her eyes to you. didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck. Not bad. I've seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security makes them that much more susceptible to the harsh realities of warp transitions. She looks at the Vox in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static. What is happening? What we have seen, Lord Highlander, I can speculate that we are dealing with some variety of warp madness. The Seneschal is astonishingly calm for someone who just survived a sudden attack. Such episodes are not uncommon among voidsmen who will find themselves outside the boundaries of real space, though such episodes seldom spill onto other decks. Theodora clicks her Vox a few times. The casters are not working, or have been sabotaged. Either the warp is toying with us, or someone went to great lengths to cut the ship's communications. I will need a direct channel to the engine seer prime before I can get a sense of what we are up against. Whatever it may be, keep your weapons at the ready. I imagine it'll be some time before we no longer need them. How could there be armed people in the ranks of the crew who would dare to attack the Lord Captain? The Seneschal gives you a gloomy look. Trust me, Lord Highlander, this is hardly surprising for a crew of thousands. The lower decks are a fertile environment for discontent and heresy. No matter how one tries to incinerate any seed before it can take root, all it takes is a hint of warp influence to cloud the minds of normally obedient cattle. Sporadic riots on the lower decks never reach these compartments. Theodora's anger causes the Seneschal to shrink slightly. No, the tumults of the rabble are always contained within their own territory. This is too well organized. It is spreading too rapidly. The incident with the rampaging servitors may be connected to what is transpiring now. Possibly. Quite likely. Theodora winces and flicks the switch on her Vox a few times. We will investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation. What are your orders? She breaks eye contact with you. Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it. So what was I saying? Yeah. I definitely like that intro. Not only for the dialogue, but also I feel like this game does a great job. The massive golden structure never stops moving for a moment. Light bounces off the orbits and figures representing celestial bodies. I feel like this game does a great job right up front of establishing danger, of making it clear, hey, you're in this place right next to a rich ruler with a crazy amount of wealth, but at the same time, you could die at any moment. And it makes you feel like that basically right off the bat. I really enjoy that aspect of it. Conrad Voigtvir lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence you are alive and well. Always on time, eh, Conrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Conrad pointedly looks away from the Arch-Militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The Arch-Militant looks back at you. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his Vox from the belt and hurriedly reports on the situation. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent, the Voxmaster is not responding, armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my Arch-Militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Has some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report! I have not yet received word from the engineerium regarding any Geller field failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I'm receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only vodcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voigtvir pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here, in the warp? Lunatics, fools, heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure, and I have the means to do both at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtvir. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psycho aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it! Masters of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Talas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Archmilitant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Lord Highlander. Theodora glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain. Voigtvir's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Archmilitant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psyker powers. Then it's settled. Lord Highlander, find Edelthrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to restrictive compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. Theodora waves a hand impatiently. Then move out. Mort, come. Voigtvir gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pockets for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Ooh, that did not sound pleasant. I promised you a special destiny, Lord Highlander. It is time to fulfill it. Oh, to be betrayed. Melee attacks always have a 100% hit chance, but they can be dodged or parried. Really? Always 100%? Nice.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Even in the most perilous situations, Lord Highlander doesn't lose his cool. So this is consistent with him. He's just going to be calm and collected. Oh, so I've been betrayed. All right, let's find out more information. What is the meaning of this?
You must have hit your head harder than I thought. No matter. Very little is required of you. Just your blood, which you can either share of your own volition, or I will spill it for you. We are in the anteroom of the Warrant chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel. An ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
Why are you doing this?
Why? Because I am following an order. What is happening on this ship right now has been in the making for a very long time. All that remains is to obtain what my masters sent me for. The Warrant of Trade.
What is it inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
I have no intention of helping you.
I am afraid that you, Fon Valencius, have no choice in the matter. Try to resist, and I will demonstrate the power that the warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so.
To the void with you. The blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment, you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Willpower. Fight the voice in your head. Get out. I am not your puppet. The voices in your head persist in their demands, and yet you feel this unseen chorus momentarily waver under the strength of your resolve, until the intruding influence forces you to your feet and pushes you toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber. So dialogue options like this are why we're going to increase willpower for this character. It does nothing for his build. Willpower doesn't help you with any skills or the vast majority of the abilities that he'll have, but there are plenty of dialogue options in the game where your will is tested, and I feel like he's the type of character who should be able to pass those checks. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its eye to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Tech use. Examine the device. Failed. You look over the gate cogitator. There is little chance that you will be able to discern anything about its design. Like any other sacred machine in the Imperium, this relic is a specialty of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtvir wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Look back.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
Look for anything that can be used as a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that can work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar in sight. Place your hand into the Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humus. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this?
Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance?
You hear a displeased grunt in your mind, as if the lurking entity has sensed something that is not to his liking. I suppose this is the onslaught of the warp madness they warned me about.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Ooh! Pull out the big guns. Whoa! And when in doubt, kill it with fire.
There is still another way.
Well, that's one way to get rid of your betrayers. Ooh, I've got injury now, though. The enormous gates match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and look impregnable. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the wearer of trade and bestow upon them their dynasty the great mission. To be a paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into the darkness, to reunite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph on the nightmares of foe, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thrones through pain to greatness.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valancius, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Voxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator's Sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need a weapon. I am utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent, its relays clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
All right. Now we have viewed the warrant of trade. So let's head back out. And, oh yeah, close these doors. Seal the warrant chamber.
Master, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Conrad Voigtvir is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of his plan. Oh.
Holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
So it would seem, but he is not here, and we have a mutiny to end.
Indeed. That is easier said than done, of course. But seeing one of Lady Theodora's heirs alive inspires at least some degree of optimism. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
He hands you a weapon. I'll take that. I'll take that. You can take that.
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treaties on Tactica Imperialis. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman, or God Emperor preserve me navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
He frowns. What can we expect to find in the Navigator's sanctum?
During warp transit, the sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Imperial. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the immaterial. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Abelard does not bat an eye as he lists all the horrors that you are about to face. I heard one of Theodora's vodcasts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
For the Imperium and humanity, lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
A wave of static suddenly erupts from the servo skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared...
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward! The Emperor is with us!
Surrender
to
dark powers!
The other thing I really like about this game is that it does a great job of always making it seem like you are you're being overrun. Like you're always facing way more enemies than what are actually in your party. So it gives the impression that the enemies have the upper hand. Oh, that's right. That's all I'm gonna get. Ah, well.
At your beck and call.
I mean, I could have taken an attack of opportunity, but nah. Does he take fire damage if he stands in place like these? No, right? Yeah, okay, well, he's good. You're my servant. And here, you can get a boost. Yeah. Should have known that wasn't going to work, but oh well. Is he in range? Yeah, I might have to back up after this.
Brace yourself,
there you go.
Abelard.
Take the hit, Abelard. Take the hit. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Can you? Yep, you can. There we go. Keep that going. Excellent. Yep, you get to him. There we go. And you, let's do 28. You're the best one. Oh well, it is what it is. There you go. Tank properly. Tank properly. Like that in you. Yep. He survived it. It's okay. You. Are you ready for another? Yeah, you one more round before you'll be ready for that. 56, 62. I will take 62. Hey, look at that. I got one. All right.
It will be done.
And that's all she wrote. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And look, we get to loot for the first time. So when you're looting, items that you can actually use, you keep in your inventory. Items you can't use, you send them to cargo. And then the ship will basically split them out into different types of cargo that you can trade in with vendors. It'll probably make more sense once we actually get more into the game. And once we actually visit a vendor. But that's just all right. Yeah, level 2. Oh, whoops. Level 2. And I don't think oh yeah, we get to, we're gonna focus on persuasion. And then you're gonna focus on athletics. Boom, boom. Bam. All right, and nothing in inventory, right, that we need. Yep, we're good. We got everything we can use, so let's continue on into the Navigator's Sanctum. I don't think this purple huish glow was in the beta. It feels new to me.
And so, he will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Master, watch your head. Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
This is Idira, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valensis. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind, as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. A diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
You hear a few clicks from the relays on the servo skull, which has followed you all the way here, and Theodora's scrambled words give way to a voice vaguely familiar to you. Officer's frequency, to all who can hear me. Those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrad. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
How do you know who I am?
What? You think Lady Theodora didn't ask me to peek into the darkness behind the backs of those she sees as her prospective heirs? I have seen you. I have seen the footsteps of your past and the wounds of your heart.
The seer's words bring back a wave of memories of the bitter, humiliating moments of your greatest shame. Something sour rushes to your tongue, and your head is clouded with a sickening sense of your own worthlessness. What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the chief engine seer is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
We must see if the navigator as well.
Oh no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
So, a piece of pipe left a noticeable dent on the floor. So, in my opinion, probably more than any other character, or potentially more than any other character on the team, I think Idira really benefits from voice acting. I think she was boring in the beta when she had no voice, but with a voice, she becomes significantly more interesting.
I'll warn you if I hear anything.
Still not sure if she really measures up compared to the rest of your team. We'll see. All right, let's go see about the navigator. Hurry! Destroy this field. Don't keep our master waiting.
Did I mention that my whispers tell you jokes? Jokes that once said aloud before your eyes bleed and blood. Talk about black confidence.
What is the
I go
problem?
where the whispers. Anything else?
Nothing like chain lightning. All right. Put you over here. Put you over here. Put you over here. And that should hopefully just about do it. And hey, let's
But of course.
get another round of it.
Anything
So
else?
close to the navigator. The light phase was already messed up. Now you're using all these powers, you're making things even more messed up. Uh-oh, where's he running to? Oh, that's not good. Alright. Let's give you a boost. And hey, you, serve me. And then, can I hit you from here? Probably not. Let's go up there. Yep, there we go. Yep, 50-50. I missed. Can't have them all. Not quite. Let's get a little closer. There we go. Ooh! One-hitter quitter. Damn! The creature in the chair appears as if it has become one with its throne. You see pink, parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through the two dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut, the two ordinary eyes as well as the third one that sits in the center of its forehead. I believe Master Vespiatus still lives. Abelard flinches at the sight of the stretched skin and the dark marks on the face of the creature. The servants are dead. The chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the war. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive. Give Abelard a pointed look. Abelard clears his throat. Master Vespiatus. The navigator stirs, barely able to lift his head and half open his normal eyes. A dark drop rolls from under the closed lid of the third eye and down his face, leaving behind a black trail. Your time is short. The voice is coming from the Vox grill at the base of the bizarre chair. It is unclear how the navigator is able to produce human speech. Our time is short to do what? Suddenly, the navigator's body starts thrashing in place. It lurches forward, then falls back onto the seat, then thrusts forward again as its bones crack and its skin tears open. However, the fusion between the body and the chair appears to be stronger than these wild impetuses. The mutant remains seated, but leans as far forward as he can, his layered raiment suddenly turning crimson. The gill slits burst open, forming two hideous, screaming, mouth-like pits. Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn! Idira shrieks in terror. He came from beyond. His body is not his. Idira's scream is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the navigator, succumbing to the paroxysms of corruption. Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. Unseal your hearts, and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. The navigator continues to convulse violently in his seat, shrieking and cackling, but then his fit stops abruptly. His face is drenched in black and crimson. The dark ooze from under his third eyelid has turned from a trickle into a stream, mixed with the blood coming out of his nose, and there is purplish swelling around the eye. Run! Flee from this place while I still have the strength. The words come out of the Vox as a labored rattle. I could contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation, leave the warp, but it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help. Who torments you? The Edge. The navigator starts thrashing about once more, his gill mouths bursting with crazed laughter. Kneel before the ascent of a new champion. When the rite is complete, this shell will burst, and thousands of balls will accept the sacrifice offered to the edge of daybreak by the bringer of twilight, the one marked by the will of the gods. Each word rings through your head like the tolling of a bell, as if countless voices have joined in, screaming into your ears. For a moment, you lose your bearings. This unholy chorus must be trying to confound you with sounds not meant for this world. Address your companions. What is that supposed to mean? Right, a sacrifice offered. Oh, my heart tells me that Conrad was not deterred by his defeat in the Warrant chamber. What? Conrad betrayed Lady Theodora? Idira clutches her head. But how was that? How? He was loyal as a dog, and I didn't hear a thing, I swear. The navigator, or rather the thing that is so determined to seize his body, erupts into mocking laughter. The footfalls of the bringer of twilight are veiled by the will of his masters. Tear out your eyes, she who is to become the champion servant, for you need them no longer. Address Abelard. The navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do now? The seneschal gazes at the figure in the chair. The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman, if he is still alive. It is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the servo scroll relayed to us earlier. Idira reaches her hand out toward the navigator, but pulls it back at the last moment. Vespiadis, good luck, and thank you. The navigator does not give her a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under the closed eyelids, and the Vox at the base of the chair is bellowing out static, interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter. Insanity. Really like that sequence. The navigator appears dead. Only the slight movement of his chest and the twitching of his eyelids let you know that he is still clinging to life. Again, game does a fantastic. The navigator's sanctum is the private haven of the ship's guide through the warp, and a death trap for anyone left inside after translation to the immaterium. The game just does a fantastic job of making it clear this is bad. You are in a really, really bad situation. He doesn't need that. Yeah, neither one of them use those, so you can let those go. Just does a fantastic job making clear you're in a really, really, really bad situation. And even if the immediate problem is resolved, you know there's still going to be more issues ahead. The concept of peril is, in my opinion, done very well in this game. All right, officer's deck. Ooh, unsanctioned psyker. Oh yeah, we'll definitely collect that and leave this location. Let's get down to the officer's deck. Da 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 da. Oh, Ulfar. Can't wait to get you on the squad. It's going to take so long for me to get my final squad. Long term, I plan to use Argenta, Ulfar, Cassia, Pasqal, and Heinrix. That's going to take a minute.
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my Emperor.
Great introduction. Some of you might have probably noticed that our Argenta doesn't move her mouth. This is probably a good time for me to note I am playing on a version of the game that is prior to the version that you're going to get upon release, and that version is going to have additional patches and updates. Unfortunately, my version of the game will not automatically update when the new version comes out, but what I'm going to actually do is go ahead and start up a new save and just catch up to wherever we are at the playthrough and in the Let's Play when the new version comes out. So I say all that to say this episode doesn't reflect the quality of the game that you're going to get, but any episodes after probably maybe 3 will. So the first 2 not going to reflect it, but after that, it will have all the updates and bells and whistles that the actual launch version will have. And in the launch version, her lips might move, or they might not. I actually don't know. The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hand, and for a brief moment, it seems she is not going to stop and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta. Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Lord Highlander von Valancius, the Lord Captain's heir.
The hour is dark and daunting. The ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends who are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the archenemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelthrad the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
I am no traitor, sister. You can be sure of that.
If you speak truthfully, the Emperor will not forsake you. If you are lying, you will not escape his retribution. I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
Lord Imperium, what is a warrior of the Adeptus Sororitas doing aboard a rogue trader ship? Your orders serve the Ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
Who are these people with you? Overseer of Middle Deck AL-84, my lord. We were rounding up everyone we could find in the attack compartments when we ran into an ambush. Just about every enforcer fell. These are the survivors. What is happening on the officer's deck? Massacre, my lord, and heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about seeing their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lord, be on your guard. We must get to the main hall of the deck.
Through this door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a technomat with us, but we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Awesome. All right, and we got our first permanent party member. Believe it or not. The generators hum softly. When you draw closer, your skin begins to tingle from static discharges. The explosion blasted a hole through the door, large enough for a person to get through. Do I need well maintained? Okay, I'll take that.
The future is never certain.
Take all that too. This door will not move an inch. It is blocked. Let's change this up a little bit. Actually, good with her being a little bit closer because I want her to be close enough to use her stuff. All right, let's move forward. Whole lot of jerk-off guys over here.
Should I divine our next step?
Let's put them out their misery.
Anything else? Beware the eye of the witch.
Ooh.
Your emperor won't save you.
These three. He's gonna go. You know what? No, she'll be over here. Then I guess she can come here. And he's gonna be all the way out here. And oops, let me not forget him. And there we go. Doom doom, yep. Excellent. Parry, one parry. Two parry. That's what I like to see. Good job. All right. And she's gonna make mincemeat of you all. It's not gonna hit the other one. That's gonna hit these three. That's not good. So yeah, I guess this is as good as it's gonna get.
Was it you?
Ooh, oh, reinforcements. They're like, hold on. You're carving through these people a little too quickly for our case. All right. Let's see.
But of course.
And get a little more on you. And that'll do. Sure. All right, and let's see. Nope.
Indeed.
Ooh, I was about to say, I thought it wouldn't let me kill both in one time, but it will. Excellent. And he's gonna get out here and give yourself some extra defense since you're out and about. Crap. I wonder here. Is he too close to that one? Oh wait, I don't have bring it down yet anyway, so no, I can't give her an extra turn. So can I? Oh, I can reach one of them. Why not? I don't want him getting closer anyway. Dodge, excellent. Soon he won't dodge anything, but for now, I'll take it. All right. She can come here. Start with a little bit of this.
Without deeds is worthless.
Look at that. Excellent. Excellent job. Excellent job, darling. I do appreciate you. Let's do a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Both of these are 30%. That's 38%. Why do I get 38% on you, but only 30% on you? That's so odd, but okay. Go give it a try and miss it. It is what it is. Momentum doesn't help us right now, so I'm not gonna bother with the one that helps, that gives her some extra momentum. There's no point in it. And let's see, can we take out 2 of you? Yep.
Anything else?
Should be able to. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Heads popping. I like that. That's exactly what I like, but I can't get to either one of them. Oh well. Good enough. And can you go ahead and deal with both of them? Not quite, but good progress at least. Here you go. Give you a little boost. Let's see. Can I help with this? They're both 46%. Come on, man. Come on, man.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
There we go. And there, why don't you go ahead and end this?
Will do.
Ha!
Turn of fate.
Ooh. She is terrifying when she doesn't like something. All right. That went relatively smooth.
Blessed be the road that we take.
An exact replica of the Von Valancia's void ship sits on the pedestal. Labels indicate the main compartments and decks of the vessel. Awesome. Don't need any of this, so we'll go ahead and let that go. Alright. Is there anything back here that we might have missed? Titles and authors are printed in gold on the spines of the books. The library contains works on Imperium theology, law codices, biographical sketches, and chronicles of the greatest military conflicts of the Cronus Expanse and the Calixis sector.
Oh, this master-crafted patella augment is not fit for a servant.
Oh, there's a... Oh, I was about to say, is there a crew member laying on the ground that I can talk to? No. Indeed, he protects. Glad you recognize that. The cozy seating area is completely destroyed. Pieces of furniture and splinters are scattered everywhere. Dark stains cover the floor and upholstery.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Excellent. Something over there that I should pick up at some point.
They're trying to tell me something.
What are they telling you, darling? Share.
Nothing escapes my
Ooh.
sight.
What's this? Oh, so this is machine right key. It helps when I'm trying to repair machines. And there's a multi-key. Helps when I'm trying to unlock things. And that's just cargo.
Whatever you wish.
And then let's see. Logic. Excellent. Let me in, no
The sooner
problem.
we start.
Isn't that supposed to have something? Maybe not. Oh, +3 bonus to tech use and a melter charge, which can be used, I believe, for eliminating locks when you're having trouble unlocking them the regular way.
Carry the Emperor's
Uses
will
demolition
as your
skills,
torch.
I believe. Okay, and there's nothing over here there? Okay, if you say so. And there's a door here. What is this? The cogitator is silent. It seems that its machine spirit is no longer being powered by the motive force. There we go. Oh, okay, so I can restore power to that computer.
What
And then,
deeds
oh, and
await
then I
us?
can use logic to open the door. Okay. Look at that. 65%, 65, and 60 with demolition.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Requires Iconoclast, which I think is that's Benevolentia, basically. Each heroic act used in battle increases the wearer's dodge by 20% until the end of combat. Max 60%. Interesting. And a couple of lockpicking. I don't think...
Let's proceed.
Oh, you know what? Abelard might be able to use that. I don't know if... I don't know how disposition gets impacted throughout the game. Like, I don't know if... Because I'm going to be more dogmatic, if that automatically makes him more dogmatic as well. I have to remember to check that and see. Oh, did I not loot everybody? Yeah. Oh. He's looted. Y'all all looted? Okay. Y'all are good. Excellent. Now, let's make sure. So, who has the best tech use? You're 35. She's 25. So, yeah, I believe he has the best tech use on the team. He'll take that. I cannot wear that, but he can. Oh, wow. And that actually, that's not a bad for you to use. So, yeah, definitely go ahead and take that. You'll take this. No. That there. And then, yeah, you don't need that anymore. So we can add that to cargo. Now her. Okay, so she's got a regular psychic staff that just has lightning arc. This one has a heroic version of it. So we definitely want that. So we'll go ahead and equip that. Excellent. And then we'll go ahead and add the other one to cargo. We can go ahead and remove this Lost pistol. She'll literally never use that. So that can go to cargo as well. She cannot equip med packs. Ooh, but our Argenta can. Oh, that's a change. It used to be that she couldn't when you first got her. So that's nice. All right. And now we're good. Let's keep it going.
Light of terror, guide our way.
Guide our way. So yeah, those melter charges. This is an example of you can use demolition to open some things as opposed to just regular lock picking. Okay, lock pick. The benches and even the cogitator, torn from its proper place, are stacked in a rough semblance of a barricade.
The light of terror shines for us.
Auto save. A fallen steel has blocked the path to the lifts. You will have to look for another way to Edelthrad. No problem. What's here? Something interesting. And only a 53 on tech use. Interesting. That didn't work. Didn't work for him either. Didn't work for her either. Didn't work for her either. Had to use the keys. No problem. And in return, we got Deck Officer's Helmet. Grants 5% bonus to armor. Obviously. This should go to you, sir. So now you're at 30% armor. Everybody else is at... Yeah, everybody else is at 20% max.
Whispers lead.
Alright. And let's go ahead and level up. Ooh, bring it down. You're going to get Endure, right? Yep. Endure. What do you get? Exposed weakness. That's alright. What do you get? Revel in Slaughter. Excellent all the way around. I'll take it. Let's go. Explode. I can't see. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You are surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps. And then you see the figure walk out of the fire toward you. It is Theodora von Valancius. Her expression is calm, terrifyingly so for someone whose body is engulfed in an inferno. One of her hands is resting on the hilt of her power sword. The other is raised in an inviting gesture. Are you lost, my heir? Argenta goes as still as a statue, then slowly raises her weapon. An apparition! A sorceress apparition. Trickery of the warp. Sister, you will lower your weapon. Despite his commanding tone, Abelard does not sound too confident. He is staring at the rogue trader, and you notice a muscle in his cheek twitching. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous. How did you get here? I am a rogue trader, Lord Highlander. I am wherever my will demands me to be. Would you prefer to be elsewhere at this time? Indubitably. But are you ready? Theodora watches you without blinking. Her snake-like gaze almost makes you forget about the fire searing you, leaving burns on your skin. I can lead you out of these flames, Lord Highlander, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide. Your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. The entity that now dwells in the deepest recesses of your mind is pleading, begging, demanding that you give her an immediate answer, and that answer can be nothing other than acceptance. Do not listen to this abomination, Lord Highlander. If there is naught but his light in your heart, if you are resolute in your faith, then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises, nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul. To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace. The people. Abelard looks back at the coughing and confused people around you. Lord Highlander, the survivors from the middle decks. We must help the crew. Lead them out. Find a way around. Over the roaring flames, you hear distant sounds. Frightened voices, screams, muffled and distorted, as if there were a body of water between you and them. Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Idira breaks off and starts coughing violently. Her knees buckle and she looks like she is about to fall. Lord Highlander, what are we waiting for? Dogmatic. Walk through the fire. The Emperor will guide the righteous on their path. Thousands of needles pierce your consciousness, but are powerless to stop you. You take a step forward, and the illusion breaks. A wave of excruciating pain crashes over you, and Theodora's voice fades into the firestorm. You hear the voices of your companions calling for you from behind, and the screams of the weak dying in the inescapable blaze. The blinding inferno, the harrowing pyre, the all-consuming storm releases you as you step out, barely able to stay on your feet. The blood is pounding in your ears, drowning out the world around you. Your eyes, caked in soot and burnt eyelashes, refuse to open. Free from the flames, you take 2 more steps before collapsing to your knees. The rush of blood in your temples and the horrible pain all over your scorched body cloud your mind, before suddenly retreating as if driven away by some mighty will. A new strength spreads throughout your veins, and despite the wounds, your body is once more ready for trials and struggle. You open your eyes and see, aglow with warm light before you, the Aquila, the sacred symbol of the Imperium. In the next moment, you are struck with another realization. The repulsive presence, the one that has plagued your mind since Voigtvir wounded you, is gone. The fire seems to have burned the entity away without a trace.
Master, can you hear me? Oh, you're alive. Which is more than I was expecting after what you just did.
Praise the Emperor. We passed through the flames. How can this be anything but a portent? For so it is said that the Emperor will bless the worthiest and most steadfast in their faith.
Behind you, behind Argenta, you see Idira doubled over in a fit of nausea. The rest of the people who are following you have withered away in the fire that continues to rage mere 2 steps away from you. The Emperor protects, Seneschal.
Indeed he does. Huh. If I hadn't seen it myself, I never would have believed.
What happened to Lady Theodora? Did she follow us?
There was no Theodora, witch. There was an illusion, a temptation, a foul taint that tried to lead us astray. But he perceived its true nature.
Is that right, Adepta Sanctimonious? What, we'll just pretend like we didn't see the Lord Captain standing there in the fire? Abelard, you tell her.
Whatever it was, it matters no longer. Your conduct is bordering on madness, or holiness. A path opened behind you, where one moment there was fire, the next only smoldering embers remain. But what am I saying? My eyes must have deceived me. Too much smoke for my lungs. Truly, would you have received wounds like these if there had been no fire?
The wounds are merely a sign of a trial laudably passed. It is something to be proud of, the same as decorations or badges of honor.
Argenta herself sounds proud, even fervent. Rise and stand tall. No element holds power over the righteous. Even if you are anticipating another wave of pain, it does not come. Your muscles feel strong, and your limbs obey you without fail. And yet, deep inside, somewhere next to your heart and stomach, you feel a certain tension, akin to that of a taut string. You are at your limit. Be it adrenaline or the strength of your faith, it will not carry you much farther. Edelthrad von Valencia stares at you without trying to hide his astonishment or trepidation. Lord Highlander, do my eyes deceive me? I could swear that I just witnessed you step out of a pillar of fire with the rest following in your wake. I hurried here to join forces with you and the others. It is time to push the heretics back. Indeed it is, Lord Highlander. Edelthrad makes the sign of the Aquila and gives you another look, this time one of concern. Your wounds. Lower warp. Look closely at Edelthrad. Edelthrad looks tired and exhausted, but his eyes burn with desire for action. He is determined to go to the bridge and defeat the heretics. My faith will keep me upright with a weapon in my hand. That is all that matters. Edelthrad holds up his hand in a placating gesture. Pray, forgive my insistence. I shall not be the one to doubt the faith of he who has passed a trial by fire. I have gathered everyone who answered the Vox call and was able to hold a weapon. Yet I do not see the Lord Captain or her arch-militant in our midst. We are still receiving messages in her voice, but she is not responding to direct requests. I last saw Lady Theodora on the observation platform. When did you and she part ways? It was at this very elevator, Master Edelthrad. The Lord Captain, accompanied by the arch-militant, headed to our chambers to retrieve an item of particular import. After that, all we heard from her were Vox broadcasts. This is troubling, and the timing is inopportune. I am still receiving fragmentary reports from the bridge. Conrad Voigtvir was spotted there, and even what scan intelligence on his activities I have reminds me of descriptions of sorcerous rituals. If that traitor has resorted to witchcraft, we must stop him at once. I shall go to Theodora's chambers to find her. Edelthrad nods. A reasonable approach. Take your escort with you. You may be waylaid. Once you have found the Lord Captain, you must beg her to go to the bridge and lead the counterattack. The rogue trader's appearance is sure to fill the defender's heart with hope, however frightened or exhausted they may be. Until next we meet, Lord Highlander, may the Emperor bless your deeds. I shall see you on the field of battle. Edelthrad salutes you with his weapon and turns to his retinue. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Oops. Everybody together now. Yeah, really like the way the game introduces dispositions. I feel like That whole fire sequence. Oh yeah, you're blocked from getting there. Okay.
Not to provoke the
That whole
whispers.
fire sequence is super cool the way it's done. And helps hammer home that those... Ooh. Can I still hit that? Oh, okay, cool. A massive podium rises above the gap in the main temple. A bold architectural design that could turn into a disaster with a well-placed shot. All right. Yeah, I feel like it's a super cool way to get you started down on that path of figuring out which dialogue options reflect your character the most.
Such is the Emperor's will.
And it's also really cool to me the way certain party members will have strong reactions to
Attention to detail is the key to success.
what did he just see? Oh, there we go. There's a door there. Some party members will have strong reactions to what particular area you feel appeals to you most strongly. Lexomechanic goggles grants +3 logic, and then we have a machine right set. Okay, cool. Plasma conduits blaze with energy, capable of powering a vast void ship. I will be honest, from my playthrough in the beta, we'll see how it is in the actual full game. They might have made changes, but this clearly does not serve as a stateroom. The generators, machines, and crude wall paneling indicate that it is a maintenance module room rather than an area for receiving guests.
Let's proceed.
I did feel like sometimes their reactions should have been stronger, and that some of the things that I did, it should have caused certain party members to leave, or at least to have very strongly worded conversations with me. But it could just be that that content just wasn't in the game at the time that I played. So yet another reason why I'm really, really looking forward to this run and seeing what some of the changes are. Theodora, anything in here? Nope.
Say no more.
Nothing here. Oh, this is a nice spot. Wouldn't mind having this as my personal chambers.
Whatever you wish.
Ooh. Boy, should have been quick on the draw, my boy. It looks like your patron should have too.
A nice little stroll.
Theodora von Valencius's body is sprawled on the large, blood-drenched desk. The Archmilitant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
No. Lord Captain. Who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voigtvir.
I doubt it. Voigtvir wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Archmilitant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
Hey, how you gonna call it his failure? The man's dead. He protected her to his very last. What more is he supposed to do?
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
Examine the Archmilitant's body. An auto pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety on the arch-militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he. Examine Theodora's body. You lean closer to the body. The cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto pistol shot, an extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye, a heap of blood-splattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else, small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Idira, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in the warp.
Inspect the shards by the deck. It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. Idira, what do these shards tell you?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces, drawing closer. Lady Theodora, and Conrad, and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure. Tainted witchcraft.
You cannot tell if Argenta's remark is directed at the glass shards or Idira herself. Inspect the papers. Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter signed with the initials XC and a seal with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. Esteemed Theodora, a change in circumstance has demanded your immediate assistance in our mutual cause. Forthwith, upon receiving this letter and performing the necessary preparations of the crew, you are to depart for the Rycat system. One of my agents, Interrogator Heinrix Van Kalix, operates there at the present time. Upon your arrival in the system, you will, without delay, make contact with them and offer any assistance required of you, after which you will provide them passage to the Forbundus system aboard your ship. On footfall, the interrogator will remove himself from your presence to await further instructions. Anticipating any questions you may have, I will stress that the nature of Interrogator Van Kalix's activities on Rycab Minors is of no concern to you. If required, Van Kalix will himself disclose the details of his mission. May the Emperor's light be with you. XC. Come on now. My character should not be failing lower PM tests. I need to get that up ASAP. But try as you might, you cannot recall its meaning of the symbol on the letter. We had best be on our way.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more.
No, wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
Whew, rough. The murder scene looks like something caught the victims by surprise. No one had time to react to what was happening. Oh crap, I just realized I got it.
We are the spearhead of the Imperial.
Let's go ahead and get that off. Oh yeah, probably from walking through the fire, right? No problem. The Mech kit. Grants 3 logic. Who's best with logic? He's 35. Yep, he's best with logic too. Okay. And yep, we're good. Excellent. Grants +5 fellowship for each enemy in a 2-cell radius. I mean, technically it's good for me because I'm an officer, but it's really not because I'm not a tank. I shouldn't have enemies within 5 meters. The wearer of this amulet gains a +10 bonus to commerce and lore Imperium. Now that's helpful. The Parlor organ seems to have been sitting idle for many years.
Something ominous lurks ahead.
A bizarre fragment hung on a trophy board. The light, smooth surface of the object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes. Go ahead and quit this then. And I don't have a cloak, so I might as well quit this for now. Oh, does he have anything on him? Requires Dogmatic follower. This helmet grants its wearer immunity to enemy critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. I can't wear it, but hey, look at that. Argenta can. By all means, darling, you got it.
Blessed be the road that we take.
All right. Let's get out of here. Ooh. Well, that's ugly.
Here we go again.
Abelard goes first, then me. Okay, interesting. Put Abelard here. I'll be here. Idira can go here. There we go. That'll work. There we go. And both of you.
Indeed. Reduced to dust.
Fantastic. I'll take it. And then you. Do that. And some of that. And then go ahead and take your extra turn, girl. There you go. That's what I like to see.
Was
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. She can actually hit 4 enemies. I forgot about that. Oh, and that's all that's what she has. No problem. And then you, 56, 28, 31. Oh, 70, huh? But I barely do any damage to him, so it doesn't really matter. And hey, look at that. Very, very nice. Very effective turn. All right, for you. Yeah, sure. We can do that. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah.
As the Emperor commands,
Do some of this.
I'll do it.
That's only doing 2. Oh well.
Faith without deeds is
Momentum
worthless.
still doesn't do anything for us, but hey, why not? All right. Ooh, look at that. We've got the heroic. Oh, she's got a heroic version. Yeah, sure does. But that only does 5 damage. Yeah, this is going to do way more. So let's get you some of this. And then we're also going to give you some of that. And then we'll give you some of this.
anything is?
There we go. Look at that. 20. Oh, no. Why are you going to Argenta? Come on, man.
It shields me.
Abelard was sitting right over there. Oh, no, no, no! Accidentally clicked behind him instead of onto him. Oh, well. It is what it is.
It will be done.
That.
At your
And
beck
just in
and
case.
call.
Give her a little bit more juice. Go ahead, scream at him again. That should about do it. There we go.
Fortunate turn of fate.
Excellent. All right. Send that there. What is this? The wearer gains +5 toughness if their intelligence is less than 35. Awesome. And that's all we have for here. Okay. You can wear that. The More toughness the better when it comes to Abelard. I'll take it. All right. Looks like we made it to the bridge. Let's stop Voigtvir's ritual. What is this? What is this? The horrific vision is a product of the warp energies that permeate the bridge. So it used to be when
First sacrifice will awaken the powers. The second victim will become a decoy.
Edelthrad looks somewhat hollow, but is still in one piece. He glances at you, then over your shoulder, clearly alarmed. Lord Highlander, you are here. But where's the Lord Captain? Theodora von Valancius is dead. I found her and the Archmilitant in her study. Edelthrad's eyes widen. God, Emperor, preserve us. The rogue trader is dead. The ship has lost her Lord Captain and the house its head. Edelthrad shudders and grabs his shoulder. As you watch, the sleeve of his jacket burst open and two bone growths pierce through the fabric. No matter what ritual Conrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. I feel my body changing with every second, the warp ringing in the air. This is the end. We will perish in the warp, along with the Warrant and all the dynasty's heirs. The enemy of humanity has triumphed. Idira looks anxiously at Edelthrad. Then she glances back at you. I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating. I forbid you the very thought of yielding. Only by resigning to your fate will you truly suffer defeat. Words worthy of a righteous soul. Save the lofty words for later, will you? The navigator's ready to take the ship out of the warp if he gets some help from the bridge. Edelthrad stares at you, and his eyes harden with cold resolve once more. Then, we have no right to bow our heads. Ooh. Bruto. You can see Conrad Voigtvir clearly in the gloom of the bridge. The broken blade he is holding is stained with dark drops that seem to have a pearlescent glimmer to them. We are out of time! Edelthrad bites his knuckle, desperately thinking. You see a wave ripple across the whites of Edelthrad's eyes, and they begin to turn a sickly yellow. To the party. Ready your weapons. If we are to die this day, let us die with honor. No, Lord Highlander. To die altogether is to allow the flame of the dynasty to perish in the dark. No, it will not be like this. Not today. Edelthrad lowers his head. Then he sighs and locks eyes with you, his gaze cold, haughty, and fanatical. The ritual will not be completed. I'll take care of it. And you, see to it that the void ship breaks free from the warp. Watch over our realm. And farewell. Accursed traitor! A time will come when you will bleed for her ladyship Theodora's murder. Remember my words, for they are the vow of he who marches towards his death. What? Theodora is dead? Voigtvir stares at you in seemingly genuine bewilderment. No, that can't be. Not now. I still have it.
Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
Ugly.
Closed ranks.
Come to chaos!
So, what I was about to say is, used to be you could get enough XP that you could reach level 4 before this battle. So you could have your ultimate ability during the battle. But Alcat changed it. I guess they wanted it to be harder, and they certainly succeeded on that front. Alright. Ooh, he's going to get a turn before Edelthrad? That's not good. That's not good at all. Here, let's She's gonna have to be back a little bit. In fact, yeah, I might as well put her here. But her, I still want all the way out there. Oh yeah, wait. If Argenta's all the way out there, that could serve as a problem. So yeah, I guess she does need to be back over here. All right. All right, let's see how this works. Here. Idira, serve me. And some of this. And then take your extra turn. Oh, she's still got a lightning heroic? Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Why not?
None will stand against.
I'll definitely take that. And then 76. Let's see if we can yeah, take out the one all the way back there. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Very, very nice. Quality turn all the way around. Now you. It's not gonna hit that guy. Not gonna hit him, so I guess we might as well do, yeah, might as well do this. Put foreboding on you. And then, well, actually, nah, we're gonna go. It's not time for us to start really hitting you up yet. All right. Now you're gonna come forward, right? You're gonna do scream. Unfortunate. Did he just attack? Oh wow, he can attack and you don't have to be right in front of him for an attack. That's unfortunate.
It will be done.
All right, 11. That's all he could do, so he'll endure and then brace himself. Then what are they going to do? You got to come up, right? Yeah, you're going to come up and you'll miss. Excellent. All right, she'll come here. And then she'll come here. Excellent. Can she kill you on one? She should be able to kill you on one. Yep, she got you. All right, and now here's the real question. Can she get you? Yep, she can get you too. No, but not quite. That's unfortunate. Can I reach you? Oh, I can. So yeah, let's do that. And then let's do that. And then let's do this.
I'll do it.
And there we go. And that's it, right? Yep. Okay. So now you're the only one left. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. You already have foreboding on you. And you've got 5 stacks. So here, we'll go ahead and put expose weakness on you. And then we're gonna put some more of these exploits on you. Excellent. And then we'll go ahead and let you know exactly how I feel about you. There we go. And now you'll do something crazy. Lord Icelander and her? Really? No, 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 no. Don't kill her. Don't kill her. Please don't kill her. Whew. All right. Let's go ahead.
Victory is imminent.
Abelard, I'm going to need you to go ahead and get that screen pronto, sir. Pronto. All right. There we go. But in the meantime, she can go ahead and make you pay.
As the Emperor
Yep. Could have been better, but could have been worse, so we'll take it.
blessed be the hand of the heathen.
And, oh, you know what? I should have moved away a few steps first. Because that would have helped as well. But, oh well. Abelard, you need a boost? I got you. Give you a little boost. Who's doing more damage? Cassia or Idira? I think Idira is doing more guaranteed damage. So you know, we'll go that route. Oh, we can't do it on her anyway? Oh, I forgot. Does this? I thought this didn't have a cooldown. Does it have a cooldown? I can't remember. Hold on. You've already got, no, you don't already have Endure, so let's go ahead and put that back on. Hit the ally with no, oh, it's got a cooldown of 1 round. Okay, so you can only do it once to that character for that round. Okay, fine. I was about to say, as big as he is, I shouldn't be missing. There we go. We've only got 1 stack of exploits, so let's put some more stacks on them. And then let's put some exposed weakness on you. And then let's go ahead and get that psychic treat going. And again. Oof. Oof. Really should have moved her back. Alright. He's going to do the only thing he can do. There we go. Whittle you down slowly but surely. Let's go ahead and move back 1. So at least you're going to draw an attack of opportunity if you do that again. Oh yeah. She's definitely doing more damage than Idira is doing. Oh crap. I don't have enough AP to even reload, but oh well. We're almost there. Anybody need a boost? Hey, you'll take the boost. Excellent. And we'll go ahead and give you that. And darling, why don't you go ahead and end this for us? Excellent. Excellent. All done. On the first try at that. Okay, Blade Shard. We'll keep that. Gloves of Endurance. Whenever the wearer of these gloves gets an injury or falls unconscious in combat, their allies gain +1 bonus to damage. Hopefully we don't need that too often, but we'll take it just in case.
Quiet. They're trying to tell me something.
Yeah, it used to be you got your heroic act before that fight started. So Idira could just unload on him with her marksman heroic act and just do crazy amounts of damage. But looks like they understandably rebalance things so that you don't hit level 4 quite that soon. And because of that, the fight becomes more difficult.
Guide our way.
Revor, Master Helmsman, system status report. By the Empress, the Seneschal, living and breathing. The white-haired man with sickly pale skin salutes you. Well, there's a tricky question. The whole place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long. How did you people survive in here? The man glances around the bridge. Must have been Providence. It better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind the cogitators, then I prayed for our rescue. We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the warp. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking. Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation of real space. Abelard pauses for a few seconds before turning to you. Lord Icelander, you may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House Von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserves to take up place in the ritual that is about to commence. He directs your attention upward to the throne that sits at the apex of the tall staircase. What must I do? Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officer to report. Blast it all to the void. Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, Master Lord Highlander. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Please hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk. I am ready. Begin the ritual. Needless to say, Lord Icelander is very comfortable with power. Taking this on, no hesitation whatsoever. By all means, I'll sit in the big boy seat. Ooh. The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire. The other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears. And this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp. Mortal, who are you to oppose the very flows of fate? The vision lowers its head, its horroring gaze boring into you. For about a moment, something changes in Theodora's expression. It almost looks like a shadow of fear? It matters not. Your footfalls are an echo of the sand pouring between the scales. Your hopes and fate are my mockery. You were to blame for Theodora's death? The vision lets out a cawing laugh. I am the beginning and the end, and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. But this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate. Your head begins to spin, your stomach turns, and viscous drops slither down your cheeks. You blink, and you are no longer looking at Theodora. It is the traitor Voigtvir, just as fluid and ephemeral as the previous apparition. The same terrifying voice seized from his lips. This shard of reality drifting through my domain is merely the arena for the one who dared to seek the favor of the gods. The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, to procure that which elevates a mortal above others, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured and the steps chosen, and yet you broke the unbreakable. The image is scattered by invisible sorcerous winds, and you see Idira, her eyes aglow with the same sinister flame. The aspirant was defeated, and thus gave birth to a new aspirant. Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I see you on the day when the final dawn rises over the metal world, when the gates of the realm of the sorcerer open and set the truth free. I see you at my side on the day I rise again. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return. A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson, purple. The images replace one another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty. The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine. Ravor turns around and looks up at you. He hesitates for a few moments, then addresses Abelard, who is standing next to you. Seneschal, the navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means... Abelard nods absent-mindedly. The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancia's flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day. Ravor does not look away. He is giving you a hard stare, his white brows furrowed. Seneschal, will you tell us now, who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision,
Say nothing.
it is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is von Valancius, the rightful inheritor of the Warrant of Trade and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim... Have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord! It is because of his toils that we still live. The deed is done. My apologies. I meant to say, Lord Captain.
And the prologue is finished.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the rogue trader dynasty survived. To hang the ancestral banners once again, and exact vengeance on the enemies of House von Valancius and humanity.
Awesome prologue, awesome intro. Really, really like the way Alcat introduces the game. I think this is all fantastic and puts you on a path to really being interested in what happens next, because even though we got out of that fire, obviously we're still in a very precarious situation. Deep shadows of wariness can be seen on Abelard's face, though the old officer's eyes are keen. They rake you over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship, you had his word for a few hours there. Abelard offers a thin smile. But after witnessing you fearlessly rush into the fray on deck, the only thing that surprised me is how long you stayed on your feet. Your strength only left you once the fighting was all over. Such fortitude is most admirable in a Lord Captain. The medics only just saved you in time. Luckily, one of the healers remembered the existence of a long-forgotten augment station in storage. The blessings of the Omnissiah saved your life. Some of your internal organs had to be replaced with implants. The good news is that now we have the capabilities to install augmentations of any complexity. The Seneschal then mutters to himself, I swear, sometimes it seems new compartments spring up on this ship of their own volition. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy, while others go unfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising, given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. Abelard grimaces. What is on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from our important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort, even so far as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Have you succeeded in tracking down Voigtvir? Abelard grits his teeth. No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him and any mutineers who may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors, but frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now one shuttle short. I'm afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. I am ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the orders to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. A dozen pairs of eyes borne to you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention officers, you have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Lord Icelander von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Vigdis Sora Orta of the Talaman line, our new Voxmaster. It is an honor to serve, your lordship. The Voxmaster offers a deep bow. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Revor, the Master Helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. The bearded man with pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face gives a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum, John Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows. It is an honor. Your lordship, you may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard, the Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship, and lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance involving the complicated manipulation of all the Tech Priest Mechandrites. Is that everyone? Actually, thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. I serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. I wish to hear the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall young man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. Post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice, pitched for your ears only. Lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. High Factotum, what have you to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the Tech Priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We'll be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rycat Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Especially true given Caligos' Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets, rumbles Abelard, frowning. Drives Master, I will hear from you now. A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the Tech Priest's scarlet hood. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroy the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engine Seer Prime, overseer and spiritual authority of all Tech Priests on board, fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little detestable flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible. Would someone care to translate the esteemed Drive Master's words? The ship's most senior tech priest, most senior both in rank and experience, is dead. If we do not find a replacement, we will be unable to resolve the problems with the warp engine. Answers the Vogt Master instantly, without even thinking. This is not the first time she has acted as an interpreter between the ship's various inhabitants. Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our Engineer Prime and Navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first, our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your Lordship, if you would allow me to interject, when we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Nobilite station. The station maintains complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round this system to our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last. And if any thick as grok shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out, so don't you worry on that score. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone. We've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship's in ruins, every second officer's dead, and now we got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where? Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass panes send a tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer! Abelard grunts. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your Lordship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides find a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up. Dogmatic. Execute him. So, I mentioned before, he's not going to just be super violent, run around massacring everybody, but he is absolutely a hard leader and has very, very little tolerance for betrayal or incompetence or anything that he feels like affects the morale of the people under him. So this, he has no tolerance for whatsoever. Abelard nods stiffly. Consider it done. Take him away. The brittle laughter of the Master of Ordnance reverberates around the bridge as he is led to his fate. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require new Engineer Prime and Navigator. Is that all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these three immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system in which we currently find ourselves? I see to the Vox Master on this point. Mr. Stollerman? We are in the Reikat star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in the system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Novice Nobilite Station has not simply failed to answer. It seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system, and Rycat Minors itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Navis Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on. Thank you for all of your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute you as one. Your lordship, there is one other thing. A confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, Abelard hesitates. Your eternally esteemed predecessor brought this ship here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a Lord Trader to do anything, and I shall tell you, the Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. I would be honored to fulfill the Inquisitor's commission. What is it he asked of Theodora? Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrix Van Kalax, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in this system, that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Fur Abundance system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilite or the Governor of Rycat Minors, may know something. That is all of it, your lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valancius Protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he is about to offer some words of encouragement. Dear Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Sister of Battle grimly nods towards Idira. The Psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Idira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word bursts from her lips. Daybreak. Abelard, bring the witch to heel. Talas, cease your buffoonery immediately and report the reason for your intrusion. Damn it! Idira presses her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn, and it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We could not extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Talas? No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it, all right? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker's bitten lips stretch into a wry smile. If there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. Awesome. All right. And with that, we have finally completely finished the prologue, and we are officially in Act 1. I think it has been long enough for the first episode, but I hope all of you enjoyed it. Leave your feedback down below. Just keep in mind, I am going to probably at least record episode 2 before I'm able to see any of your comments. So if you have certain feedback about things that need to change or be better, it might not be reflected until episode 3. But you all know, I look at all my comments, I read them, I definitely want to make this as fun for you all as possible. So open to feedback on what should be done. And yeah, so excited to be starting on this. Looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care.